الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم إنما بعثت لأتمم صالح الأخلاق أو كما قال صدقت يا رسول الله. All praise due to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, cherisher, nourisher and sustainer of all the worlds. And choicest blessings and salutations on Nabiyuna, Habibuna, Quribuna, Nuruna, Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala al-Nabi Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. أيها الأحبة في الله, I bring you special greetings from all the people that I met on Hajj, and they asked me to convey their salam to the brothers in South Africa. So I convey that amana to you. أيها الأحبة في الله, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam reminds us, وَخَيْرُ الْحَدِيثِ كِتَابُ اللَّهِ وَإِنَّ أَصْدَقَ الْحَدِيثِ كِتَابُ اللَّهِ. The best speech, the most truthful of speech is indeed the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if the brother, Allah bless him, had to continue reciting for the entire duration of Jumu'ah, that would have been sufficient. Because there's nothing better than the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing impacts on the hearts more. Nothing brings about informative change. Nothing catapults us from making the hijrah from being salihun to muslihun other than Al-Quran. And that's the beauty of Quran. And that's why it's important. مَا اجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ يَتْلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ. That there's no gathering better than the gathering in the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where the Quran is being recited, where يَتَدَارَسُونَ بَيْنَهُمْ, and then you reflect upon its meanings. إِلَّا نَزَلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّكِينَةِ, except that Allah descends tranquility. وَغَشَّتْهُمُ الرَّحْمَةِ, and He descends rahmah. وَحَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ, and the malaika extend their wings. وَذَكَرَ اللَّهُ فِيمَا عِنْدَهُ وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِيمَا عِنْدَهُ. And they are mentioned in the congregants of that gathering are mentioned in a gathering even better than that gathering, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. O kama qala صدقت يا رسول الله. So the Quran provides huge opportunities, great opportunities. And that's why the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam placed a lot of emphasis in the studying of the Quran, when he said, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. The best amongst you are the ones who learn the Quran. But he did not stop there, وَعَلَّمَهُ, and teaches it to others. You see, this deen has been founded upon selflessness. It has been founded upon doing for others. Many ahadith speak about the importance of giving off. Even if you learn one ayah, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. أَفْضَلُ الْإِيمَانِ أَن تُحِبُّ لِلنَّاسِ مَا تُحِبُّ لِنَفْسِكَ وَتُكْرِهُ لَهُمْ مَا تُكْرِهُ لِنَفْسِكَ. The best form of faith is to love for someone else what you love for yourself. Look at the sense of selflessness. And to forbid for them what you forbid for yourself. Even if you have learned just one idea, one concept, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً, convey it. This deen is promulgated upon selflessness and not selfishness. This whole concept of me, myself and I being the three most important people in our lives, if you want to know in a nutshell why we are in the predicament we are in, is because everything is about the individual. Everything is predicated upon me just looking after me, myself and I. And everything is I. iPhone, iPad, everything. No wheel phone. You don't find wheel phone anywhere. Remember in the old days when one person had a phone in their house and the whole community used to come and use that phone. Communal sense of sharing, giving, sharing is caring. All those concepts have been eradicated for the self. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides us with these opportunities. And that's why listening and reciting the Quran has become very significant now, more so than ever. When the Quran is being recited in any home, Allah's rahmah descends on that home. We want to know why we have problems in our homes, why we have problems in our communities, why we have problems in our society. Because no one opens the Quran anymore. We leave it on the shelf, we don't engage it, and even if we do recite it, it's recited without meaning, without understanding. So the tadabbur of the Quran, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ, those things don't exist anymore. And that's why we need to really, if we want to come out of this quagmire that we find ourselves in, there has to be change. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about this change. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ الْعَظِيمُ. Surely Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change that which is within themselves. And yes, it's easy to blame our leaders, but every society's leaders is a reflection of the society themselves. Because those leaders don't come from Mars, they don't come from Pluto, they come from our community. So if we don't empower our leaders and our young people and educate them adequately and make serving the deen a good track of a career path as well, where they don't have to worry, listen, if I become now a scholar of the deen, how am I going to survive? No woman will want to marry me because she's going to be worried whether I'll have money. My kids tomorrow are going to wonder, maybe I should have been born in a home that, not in the home of the mashayikh, could have had a better life. Everything revolves around materialism. We have not created a path of excellence for the study of the deen, for the practical implementation of the deen, and have the brightest minds with the best IQs being in the forefront and in the positions of leadership. Don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting or undermining the quality of our leadership that we have. But if we want to be critical, we should be critical of ourselves. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides us with numerous opportunities. And amongst the opportunities He provides us with is direct access. You see, direct access. We don't have in Islam something called popedom. I can only go to the Lord, to the Pope, or through some barrier between me and Allah. That does not exist. We have direct access to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He gives us a mechanism and a tool of this access in various forms. The moment you stand for prayer and you say Allahu Akbar, it's direct access of communication between you and your Lord. The moment you open your Quran and you recite, it's direct access between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then He gives us an amazing tool. It's called dua. Ad-dua huwa al-ibadah. A means of private or public direct communication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dua, as the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, is ibadah. Ad-dua mukhul ibadah. He says in another riwayah, dua is the marrow in the bone of supplication. So there's another opportunity for us to be able to communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides us with certain moments and times and places and people in which that those methodology of communication with Him is given a boost. You see, where sometimes you may be trying to communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you only have one bar of signal. But then He gives you an opportunity at specific times in which you can improve your own personal condition and you can help you to establish your own mast. So you then have your own tower of signal. And he provides times like the 1st of Rajab, where Allah's rahmah descends, Nisfu Sha'ban, Tahajjud time. Amazing signal. Everyone else is off the network. It's just you and Allah. Amazing signal time. Then he gives you an entire month of Ramadan. And he gives you a structure to that methodology of approaching him with rahmah, maghfirah, itqa min an-nar. Then he even gives you one night better than 1,000 months. Then he gives you Layla, Eid al-Fitr, and Layla, Eid al-Adha. The Laylatul Jaiza, the night of Eid al-Fitr. Imam al-Shafi brings the importance of these nights and the night of Eid al-Adha. And even if you missed all of those opportunities, when you come into Shawwal, it gives you an opportunity to go for Hajj. And the Hajj is an amazing opportunity to be able to get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intimately. To make the hijrah, the migration from theoretical relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, I need to worship you because you are my creator theoretically. But you can make the hijrah through Hajj from a theoretical relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to a practical relationship. Oh Allah, I feel your blessings upon me in every moment of my life, from the oxygen that I breathe, to the limbs of mine that moves, to the ability to critically analyze by using my brain, the ability to articulate by using my mouth and my tongue. You have created all these opportunities for me to be able to be a positive and a constructive human being on this earth. And then you practically realize that there is no one worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why the journey of Hajj becomes very significant, because it connects us with our father Ibrahim alayhi salam. You see, the tawheed that is theoretical in your mind needs to settle in your heart. If you don't have a courier system that takes the theoretical tawheed from your mind and settles it directly into your heart, then we will always be lacking. The first tsunami that you are faced with, even if it is an illusionary tsunami, it rocks your faith. It rocks your entire being and your system. And that's why the Hajj becomes very, very significant. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala linked the Hajj to Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam and Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam for a specific reason. Because you will be able to see in their footsteps a clear and practical methodology of getting this tawheed to settle in your heart, so that your belief moves from one of just being theoretical to one of being practical. And that's why, look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after testing Sayyidina Ibrahim through a series of tests, how can we forget? That's why when you go for the Hajj, you see Ibrahim alayhi salam everywhere. From his dua for this beautiful place, from the time when he sacrificed by leaving his wife and his son, biwadin ghayri dhi zar, in an uncultivated valley, no sign of provisions. Everywhere you see Ibrahim alayhi salam. And the reason for that is because we need to reflect on his journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sayyidina Ibrahim has a beautiful journey, and his journey assists many people to settle tawheed in our hearts. Why do I say that? If you look at his journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what did he say? فَلَمَّا جَنَّ عَلَيْهِ اللَّيْلِ رَأَى كَوْكَبًا قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي. You know that time when he spent on this journey, it was a metaphorical journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was also a physical journey when he looked at the stars and he said, some of them say that this can be my Lord. Let me ponder But when the stars vanished, he said, فَلَمَّا أَفَلْ, cannot be my Lord. Then he looks at فَلَمَّا رَأَى الْقَمَرَ بَازِغًا قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي. Then the stars have small light. Maybe the moon, which they refer to as bigger light. Murur, maybe that's the Lord. فَلَمَّا أَفَلْ, also the moon comes and the moon goes. And depending on the time of the month, the moon size also changes. And my Creator is not subject to change. فَلَمَّا أَفَلْ, this is not my Lord. Or maybe many of them think that the Shams, because it has the brightest light, and it is so amazing because you cannot even approach it. فَلَمَّا رَأَى الشَّمْسَ بَازِغَةً قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي, maybe this is my Lord. فَلَمَّا أَفَلَتْ, but every sunrise will have a sunset. So there was only one conclusion out of this, one way out. إِنِّي وَجَّهْتُ وَجْهِيَ لِلَّذِي فَطَرَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ حَنِيفًا فَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. I cannot worship anything other than the Creator, the Cherisher, the Sustainer, the one who is over. He is eternal with no beginning. وَالْآخِرِ, He is eternal with no ending. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ, He is nothing like you have ever imagined. If you think about anything in the creation and you assume that that may be Allah by attributes attributed to the creation, it cannot be Him because He is the Creator. He is not subject to time, He is not subject to space because He is the Creator of time and the Creator of space. He does not sit on a chair which people assume is an arsh or na'udhu billah. He is not confined to a heaven because He is the Creator of the heaven. How can that which He created confine Him? And He is Samad. He is not in need of anything for anything, yet everything is in need of Him for everything. And He is لَا تَأْخُذُهُ سِنَةٌ وَلَا نَوْمٌ. He is not subject to fatigue and He does not sleep. So هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ, He will listen to you and He will see you at any given time. Whether it is the quiet moments of the morning or the deep recesses of the evening or the glaring sun of the midday, Allah is not subject to fatigue. And that's why this knowledge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes critical even before you go for Hajj. Because many people focus on the arkans of Hajj. But the arkans is a means, it is not the objective. The objective is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why do we say that? Because the whole idea of the Hajj is to make us make a hijrah from the creation to the Creator. And that's why we look at what happened to Sayyidina Ibrahim. And I'd like to share some moments today about speaking about Sayyidina Khalil. Look, when he destroyed the idols, right? لِأَبِيهِ آزَرَ, some say it was his uncle, some say his father. And when they came back and they saw the idols destroyed, and he put the axe on the big idol, right? So they themselves knew the big idol is not going to confess. So what did they do? See, the iman of Sayyidina Ibrahim is so pure, and that's why everyone wants to grab him for themselves. Whether it's the Yahud, whether it's the Nasara, whether it's the Muslimun, all of them want to take a piece and say Ibrahim belongs to us. Abul Anbiya. Why? Because if you look at Sayyidina Ibrahim, his life, his mannerisms, his journey of Tawheed, you find this purity and this beauty. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it clear. And amongst the reasons why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it clear that إِنَّ أَوْلَى النَّاسِ بِإِبْرَاهِيمَ لَلَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوا هَذَا النَّبِيِّ. Although they all want to claim him, the one that really follows in his footsteps is none other than An-Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that's why مَا كَانَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ يَهُودِيًّا وَلَا نَصْرَانِيًّا ولكن كان حنيفا مسلما. He's Hanif and he's Muslim. The purity of his submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is epic. And that's why when they made that fire, you see, they made that fire, and the fire was so big. The ulama of Sirah bring it. We have no sanad for these things because these are not matters of aqeedah. But the ulama of Sirah bring that when they did that fire, it was so huge that they could not take him here and say, let's now catch him and we'll throw him. Because the ferociousness of that fire required them to catapult him from a distance. Otherwise they themselves would get burnt. So when they catapulted him and he was now airborne, guess who comes to visit? None other than Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam. Maybe you have some final wish or something you would like me to tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know what his response is? His response to Sayyidina Jibreel is epic. And this is the same thing, kind of response we need to let settle in our hearts. He says, عِلْمُهُ بِحَالِي يُغْنِيهِ عَنْ سُؤَالِ. His knowledge in my condition suffices me from asking. Look, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal. His knowledge in my condition suffices me from asking. Look at that beautiful response. Allah knows my condition. I need not ask Him because He knows. And that's why you will find, why do we feel so threatened at this moment? Why do we feel so naked in terms of what's happening around the world? And we are fearful of our own safety. Again, me, myself and I, we are fearful of the safety and keeping my wealth and all those things of the creation that I love. I'm so fearful of losing it. That's why everyone is now anxious and anxiety has crept in. Why is that the case? The reason for that is our tawheed is not intact. It hasn't settled. Our reliance in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wanting. And we are not fulfilling our amanah as Khalifatullah fil ard. And we know that that's why we're fearful. Because we are making no positive contribution. We are not adding value to society. Leave alone that we're not even adding value to our own homes now. To a point it was said, okay, this person is only interested in his own children and own family. Even that too seems to be fading. Me, myself and I is taking now a completely different level and a dimension. And the reason why we feel that we are not going to be protected, because people want to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing well that I am such a selfish individual. I don't contribute anything to society. I do not do anything to bring about positive change. I cannot even bring change to myself. To rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala totally. So I feel that I am in the front line and I'm next. Why? Because I'm not fulfilling the mission. I'm not even conveying this message that the Prophet ﷺ spent so much of time, effort and energy to bring to us. And then his grandson, Sayyidina Imam al-Hussein, and the whole family of the Prophet ﷺ, they were massacred in the plains of Karbala to preserve the pristineness of this message. We don't even remember his sacrifice. And the sacrifices of the Sahaba, and the awliya and the Salihin. So we know what's coming, because we know that the reason why Nuh alayhi salam was saved from the flood, why Yunus was saved from the belly of the whale. May Allah save him. Why Yunus alayhi salam was saved from the belly of the whale. Why Yusuf alayhi salam was saved while he was thrown into the well. Why Ibrahim alayhi salam was saved while he was being thrown into the fire. I mean, his reliance in Allah was so beautiful that Allah immediately, when he responded to Sayyidina Jibreel, Allah said, and it's documented in the Quran, قُلْنَا يَا نَارُ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيم. not only make that fire cool for Ibrahim, but also salam. He's being catapulted from the high level in the air. Even if the fire becomes cool, the gravity is going to kill him. So at least let that be a safe, soft landing. The reason why they were saved is because وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ مَحَبَّةً مِنِّي وَلِتُسْنَى عَلَى عَيْنِي. As long as you are in the mission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are doing something good. إِنَّ رَحْمَةَ اللَّهِ قَرِيبٌ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah's mercy descends upon those who are doing good. As long as you are doing good and you are selfless, because not only are you taking from Allah, but you are giving back. هَا أَنْتُمْ هَؤُلَاءِ تُدْعَوْنَ لِتُنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Allah says, who of you are willing to give me a goodly loan? فَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يَبْخَلْ. But amongst you are people that are bakhil, misers. وَمَنْ يَبْخَلْ فَإِنَّمَا يَبْخَلُ عَنْ نَفْسِهِ. But if you're a miser, you're only a miser to yourself. Because Allah does not need your money. But He needs to see what positive contribution you are going to give back. وَاللَّهُ الْغَنِي وَأَنْتُمُ الْفُقَرَاء. The reality is, Allah says, I am ghani. I have everything. I have the treasures. You are indeed fuqara. You are in poverty. You are in poverty in every single way. You can't even lift your hand if I stop it. You can't even breathe if I close your nose. And then the punchline comes. وَإِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ. And then if you do not do the work, or don't give me this loan, or don't make a positive contribution, guess what? I will replace you with other people who will do a better job. And that's why we are so fearful, because we know we are so selfish. We are not making a positive, except for those glorious stars in our community, few and far between. And Allah make us amongst them as well. We are not making any positive or selfless contribution. We get involved in argumentative talks, and we just contribute things from the tongue that makes absolutely no sense. We have no understanding of a situation. It's a nice saying. A fool speaks when he wants to say something. A wise man speaks when he has something to say. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, مَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day, say something good or keep quiet. So we have nothing positive to contribute. We give knee-jerk responses. We don't do anything with our hands anymore. It's only with our tongues, and usually it's divisive and it's very destructive. Because we focus on ourselves and our so-called actions, and we rely on our actions, which is also a creation. We don't rely on the one, we rely on our deeds. We don't rely on the one who accepts our deeds. And that's why when Sayyidina Ibrahim and Sayyidina Ismail were called upon to build the Kaaba, what did they do? They were called upon to build the most holiest and the most sacred of houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the most sacred of places, Al-Bakka. Bakka, some refer to it as Makkah generally, or Bakka is that spot where the Kaaba is. They're given divine instruments to build the Kaaba, so he has a rock which can go up and down, and if he wants to put the bricks up, then the rock goes up, and that rock is so amazing, and his footprint is even more amazing, that up to today it has been entrenched, and that footprint is preserved in a place called Maqam Ibrahim, where we pray 2 rak'at. And after he builds the Kaaba, 2 Anbiya, Sayyidina Dhabih wa Sayyidina Al-Khalil, Ismail wa Ibrahim alayhim as-salatu was-salam, look how they don't rely on the deeds. They say, oh, this is such a big job, such a great opportunity that 2 of us were only given, and it's Allah's instruction, it must be accepted. You know what they say? وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ وَإِسْمَاعِيلُ رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا. Look at the humility in which they present it and say, Allah, please accept it from us. We don't know if we have transgressed whilst building the Kaaba. Allah, you are the one. The focus is not on my deed. The focus is on the one who accepts the deed. And that's why this journey on this dunya, if we don't positively contribute or fulfill that amana of Khalifatullah fil ard, we are setting ourselves up for distraction, because وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ مَحَبَّةً مِنِّي وَلِتُسْنَى عَلَى عَيْنِي. As long as you are in the mission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His personal symbolic gaze is over you. He will envelop you with His mercy and rahmah, and He will protect you. So we need to change. If we don't change, we are going to be replaced. It's simple. If we change positively, Allah subhanahu, that's why Allah says in the Quran, وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُهْلِكَ الْقُرَى بِظُلْمٍ وَأَهْلُهَا صَالِحُونَ. No, أَهْلُهَا مُصْلِحُونَ. Allah will not destroy a village or a people unless if the people in there are muslihun. Salihun are those who are pious for themselves. Look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the malaika in hadith. He said, go destroy that village. The malaika came, Ya Allah, we can't destroy the village. There's a big wali there. He said, start with him. Because he only was a reformer for himself, selfishly. He did not positively contribute to save the whole community from hellfire. He was only worried about saving himself going to Jannah. So if you are salihun, you're still not safe. You may be pious for yourself, you're not safe. Unless you make the hijrah to muslihun, that you positively contribute to others around you. Be righteous, not self-righteous. It's going to be difficult. We are going to be exposed, we are going to be naked, and there is a possibility we will be replaced. So we have to bring about change. This journey from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the itinerary is very clear. The journey, the distance, the direction, the whole itinerary, and where we are going to and where we've come from is very simple. Allah says in the Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Min al-mahdi ila al-lahad. From the cradle to the grave, we have come from Allah and we'll go back to Him. And the reality of this life is ad-dunya sa'a faj'alha ta'a. This dunya is but 1 hour. And you have to spend that 1 hour in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we make 2 sujood. Amongst the mashayikh, they remind us that why do we make 2 sajdas in salah? The first one when we make is minha khalaqnakum. When you make sajda, you must think, I have come from the earth. And when you come up, you go back down again, وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ. And I'm going to go back into the earth. And the entire duration between minha khalaqnakum, وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ, that duration in the jalsa between the 2 sajda, that's the entire duration of your existence on the dunya. So we have a small time. We have to maximize. The rules of this engagement on this dunya is very simple. And in Hadith Qudsi, and I'll conclude with this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Hadith Qudsi, Al-Bazar and others bring this. He says, Abadi, O my servant, Anta turid wa ana urid. O my servant, you want and I want. وَلِن يَكُونُ إِلَّا مَا أُرِيد. But nothing happens except that which I want. فَإِنْ أَطَعْتَنِي فِي مَا أُرِيد أَعْطَيْتُكَ فِي مَا تُرِيد. If you give me what I want, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will give you what you want. وَإِن لَمْ تُعْتِنِي فِي مَا أُرِيد أَدَعَبْتُكَ فِي مَا تُرِيد. But if you do not give me what I want, I will make you tired and exhausted chasing your tail after this dunya to get what you want. Because ultimately, وَلَن يَكُونُ إِلَّا مَا أُرِيد. Nothing happens except that which I want. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who understand the importance of Tawheed, the importance of total reliance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because it becomes easier for the believer to make positive change and become a better human being and make a positive contribution to society at large. If you understand Tawheed, you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know that rizq only comes from Him and shar wal khair only comes from Him. Everything comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The quicker we rely less on our deeds and our actions and the creation, and the more we rely and completely rely on the Creator and move from the creation to the Creator, the easier and the quicker we will come out of the quagmire that we find ourselves in. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Just one quick announcement. On Saturday night, inshallah, we are going to have a message.